Hey guys, it's Joe here with Joe Salamanders. And boy, did I have an amazing weekend in Hickory, North Carolina at the Hickory Repticon. Sold some salamanders and axolotls and some isopods. And business is going pretty good. I can't complain. But I got a little behind on some of the work that I do here. And I have to catch up on a few things. So I thought I would share this with you and show you some of the things I do behind the scenes with these animals when I'm raising them. You can see in my previous videos I've showed you how I hatch the eggs out and separate the babies and stage the babies, and I'm always moving these guys from one enclosure to another. Keep in mind, as they grow fast when they're young, and they're going to outgrow their enclosures pretty quickly. So you're constantly moving them and dividing them and divvying them up into smaller numbers. You might have 20 in one bin that can fit, but then a week later they double in size and you can't fit 20 in the same bin. You can only fit 15 or maybe 10. So, and another thing you got to keep in mind is some of them grow a lot faster than others. So one of the things I got to do is separate them periodically and pick the small ones out from the big ones so the big ones don't eat the small ones. So I yielded about 70 tiger salamanders this year for market, and I've still got 50 left. I've only sold 20 in the last 2 months. So I know a lot of you guys are worried I'm going to run out because I don't ship until fall. Now, there's a caveat to that. I do ship outside of fall and winter, but it's only FedEx next day. I don't ship 3-day express or 3-day UPS during the summer because these temperatures are just too hot. They could get left out in the sun in someone's yard if you're not home or something, and by the time you get home they could be cooked. Those ice packs only last a day or two, and I just don't trust the postal services. I've had packages get lost in the mail, and it's too much of a risk with the summertime heat. So I know a lot of it's controlled nowadays, environmentally controlled. Most of it is, but still, you can't control where they leave it at when they deliver it. Sometimes you can, but not all the time. And anyway, I don't want to get stuck on that too much. I got about 50 of these guys, and I'm only selling about 10 a month, so I'll still have plenty in fall. And what I'm doing right now is I just took them out of their bins, and I'm rinsing them off in these buckets, and I cut up some earthworms to feed them some earthworms while they're in here. Now, I'm still kind of playing around with these guys, like soaking them once a week in a bucket of water and feeding them when I soak them. And one of the things I like about this is, so young salamanders are pretty clumsy, and I've had a lot of them fall in to the water and drown. So I don't give them any kind of water when they're small like this. So you can't watch every single one of them and make sure they're getting perfect hydration. So about once a week, I like to put them in a bucket like this and cut up some earthworms and feed them, because the earthworms are probably one of the best diets for them. And when you put the earthworms in their enclosures, like the terrestrial enclosure, they just burrow down into the substrate. I'm sure they catch them, and eat them, but you're not seeing it most of the time, and you're not sure. And you don't know for sure, maybe they're not catching them and eating them. So I like to cut up earthworms when they're small like this and put them in buckets of water. And it's really easy for them to feed on the worms in the water. And not only that, but like a lot of animals, when these guys eat, they like to poop and pee. So if I feed them in these little buckets of water, they can relieve themselves in the water. And that's less toxins in their enclosure. Guys are going wild over these worms. But Yeah, so I got to go through here. There's a few of these that are not sized appropriately, need to be sorted. But they're all pretty much the same size for the most part. None of them are really like outsizing each other enough to cannibalize each other. But another thing I wanted to show you guys, I've had a lot of questions about how I keep my enclosures, my terrestrial enclosures. So these are my terrestrial bins. I've got them all open. You can see there's 4 of them. Now, if I divide 50 tiger salamanders by 4, it's like 1.2 or something like that. So like 12 per a bin or something like that. 11 or 12 per a bin. Probably 12. And it's just topsoil mixed with coconut coir and Java moss, or sphagnum moss. The sphagnum moss is really good for hiding and holding the humidity, holding the moisture. And I like to use cardboard for hides. They like to crawl up under there, and the cardboard's really safe for them. If you use bark or rocks, they're very fragile animals. It's easy to injure them or have an accident and kill them. So pieces of cardboard make perfect hides. I even use, like, this is a paper bag that my crickets came in. I just threw the whole bag in there because, like, any kind of brown recycled paper or cardboard is going to be safe for them and makes a great hide. But you can see the soil, it's wet, but it's not saturated. It's not dry. You don't ever want to let it dry out unless you're doing like a gradient and you have a wet zone and a dry zone on purpose. But I try to seed all my enclosures with isopods. Now they'll usually eat a lot of those isopods, but sometimes they'll reproduce. And it's really good for the enclosure, for the bioactivity, because they really help control the waste. And another thing I like to do, I already did it off video before I started this, but while I got these guys in the bucket down here, I like to fluff up the soil. So I went through all of these and just mixed the soil up with my hand. Kind of like refreshes or rejuvenates it, because they're going to poop and pee in certain spots. And when you mix it all together like that, you're kind of mixing the chemistry of the enclosure all together and kind of like diluting wherever there might be concentrations and kind of equalizing the toxicity and pH levels and so on of the whole enclosure. But if you have good bioactivity like I do, you don't really have to worry about that too much because your springtails and your isopods are going to clean up all your waste. But you want to have good ventilation. That's something else I should mention. I poke a lot of holes in these. I'll show you what the lids look like. That's not a good example. This is a better one here. I got a lot of holes. Some of them I got holes in the top. You can see the holes there. See, I got more lids over here. Here you go. This is a good example. You see a lot of holes there. So many holes. I put like all over this whole thing. Just full of holes. Need to clean these things off. They're a little dirty. Sorry about the dust and dirt on it, but they are salamanders and they can be messy. Overall, the room's really not too bad a shape. There's a little bit of clutter, but you know what, they're pretty clean animals. They don't stink, they don't make huge messes. You don't even really see the poop or pee. You don't smell it. There's no odor at all. Like, honestly, they're pretty clean animals to keep. And things are going good here. Got some breeding projects I'm going to be working on this winter. And I got the hybrid newts here. These are the crested Danube hybrids. And Sorry about that, guys. My video cut out for some reason. Said it couldn't record because the video was too long. I don't know, I think it's because I'm shooting it in night mode or something. It's never done that before. But, so these are the hybrid Danube Italian crested newts. And the father was Flavistic Italian crested newts. So when I breed these offspring back together, there's going to be some interesting color morphs. Because the genetics from the Danubes are going to express themselves a little bit differently when they're mixed with the Flavistic genes. They could be more of a golden color instead of a white, and they could even have more reticulation, different patterning and spotting, and there might even be more than one different color morph. I might end up with several different color morphs. That's how a lot of the different color morphs are created in the pet trade. But anyway, it's just an update on that project. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I gotta get going here because I got a lot of stuff to do. Gotta put these guys all away. And now you know how I keep my enclosures. Keep in mind, this is just how I'm keeping these enclosures for these juveniles. I keep my adults in the same kind of setup, but I rotate them around. They don't stay inside all year. I keep them in a setup like this inside, but when they're outdoors, they're in their outdoor enclosures, which I've made videos for. And you know, this is what works for me. I'm not saying it might work for you, but as you can see, I've produced a lot of these guys, so it's working really good for me. But anyway, things are going good here, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Come out and see me at a Repticon convention. I'm working pretty consistently in Hickory, Asheville, and Charlotte, and occasionally Tennessee, but I don't know if I'm going to be going back to Tennessee anytime soon. So stay tuned, look for me on Facebook, and come out and see me at a convention. Feel free to leave a comment, ask me if you have any questions, and like the channel, subscribe.